I want to bring up something really quickly here, and I don't want to cast a pall on this situation of who Trump's nominated for the Supreme Court, but it's just something we need to be aware of and be watching out for. This Mr. Neil Gorsuch. I came across some information this weekend that I hadn't heard before that's a little bit disturbing. He hadn't written a lot on abortion. We can assume from some of the other things he's written that he's on our side, but we don't know that.
And that is a concern to a lot of pro-lifers,
It is a concern because when the leftist, the Obamas and the Clintons of the world appoint somebody, they sit them down and say, I want to know what your position on abortion is. Do you support Roe versus Wade? So they know when they put somebody on. Our guys play by the rules, unfortunately. They're not supposed to ask questions about particular subjects that might come before the court, so they don't ask. And then we get surprised and we wind up with some of the people that we get on the Supreme Court that were appointed by Republicans and then stab us in the back.
Kennedy.
The one thing that bothers me here, Judge Gorsuch is an usher at St. John's Episcopal Church in Boulder, Colorado. You think, well, that sounds...
That's red flag.
That's a red flag. The Episcopal Church has an official, pretty rabid pro-abortion position, and they are a member, and and people say, well, I don't think their position is that rabid. You're not a member of the Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice unless you're pretty rabidly pro-abortion. And this church is a member of the Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice. The pastor at this church, St. John's in Boulder, is Susan Woodward Springer. And she was a participant in the recent rabidly pro-abortion Women's March in D.C. And afterwards, she was quoted as saying, quote, I have never felt so connected to humanity, unquote. Now, this is his pastor. And
he's an usher.
And he's an usher at the church, and sometimes his wife gives the sermon.
Which speaks to the fact that he is participating in the outreach and in the ministry of that church.
So
this is a red
troubling.
flag. This is a red flag.
This is very troubling.
Right.
Now, I think that what we have to rely on is that maybe we know for a fact, for example, that a lot of Southern Baptists whose church has an official pro-life position have turned around and stabbed us in the back, right? The Bill Clintons, the Al Gores of the world, those kind of people.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, who turned out to be heretics. All these guys turned out to be heretics as far as our churches are concerned. Catholics have got a major problem, scandal in the Catholic Church with all these hardcore...
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. Just go down the list.
John Kerry.
Well, and then they have the Catholics for Choice.
They have Catholics for Choice. So all of these people that are ostensibly should be on our side have stabbed us in the back. Maybe Gorsuch will stab these people in the back.
Well, the thing that
we got to hope for.
The one confidence that we have is that he has demonstrated himself to be one who is true to the Constitution and is in the mold of Scalia. That's the thing that we're hanging our hat on. And if he's in the mold of Scalia, we can count on him being a strict constitutionalist.
But the operative word there is if. That's the operative word here.